Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Dani, and today I have my very first unhaul. So I finally got around to separating a few books quite a few books, that I want to donate, get them out of my bookshelf, basically. And I split this series, let's say, in two. So first I have books that I read. This video is about books that I've read and I didn't like them enough to want to keep them occupying space on my bookshelf. And the second video is going to be a Trash My TBR video, which is all books that I have not read yet, and I just don't know if I'm interested enough in them to keep them in my bookshelf, and hopefully in that video it will help me get rid of them. But let's start with the books that I read. So what I'm going to do with these books, when I can, when COVID restrictions allow me, I'm going to donate them to either a charity place or, I don't know, just like a library. I don't know where they're going to go, but I'm going to donate them. I have a few Brazilian books as well, so I'm going to donate them to Brazilian people who live here in Montreal that will want to read them. Some of these books you will also recognize from my Worst of 2020 video, which is the case for This Line Will Kill You by Chelsea Pitcher. This is a YA thriller about a group of kids who end up in this mansion that is basically, they realize that there's someone there is trying to kill them because of something that happened in the past, a year ago. And I didn't really like how this story unfolded and the conversations that we got through the story. I really enjoyed the beginning. I thought it was exaggerated and over the top and just a lot of fun, but then it just spiraled. I didn't like it, and I don't need to have it in my bookshelf. Then we have 7 Days by Patrick Senecal. Of course, this would be here. I really didn't like this book. This is a horror, I guess, story about a man who's torturing this guy because he raped and killed his daughter, and I didn't like it. It's just a lot of graphic torture scenes, and there's a comparison here that happens that I didn't enjoy at all. I don't know why the author went that way, and I don't know. I didn't like it. Then we have The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, the Brazilian edition. I hated the office. This is a enemies to lovers story in the workplace, and I hated the dynamic of the office relationship here because there's a lot of harassment and just like really wrong, uncomfortable things that happen in the workplace that are never addressed, and I just couldn't get attached to the characters when they were doing this stuff. So it's going. Then we have An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. I haven't talked a lot about this book in my channel. This is a fantasy. What is this even about? I barely remember. It's about a magic competition, which sounds amazing, but I don't know, this book just didn't grab my attention as much as I thought it would. I was checking Goodreads to see if I wrote a review at that time, but I didn't, but I gave this 2 stars. I just was not connected to the story at all. I just didn't care about these characters. I didn't care even if the main character died. It's just, I like the magic aspect. I really love the competition aspect, but I feel like the author, now that I'm remembering more about it, the author spat through the most fun parts of the book, and when there was actually a magical battle, it was very, very short, and then all the rest of the story was long, and it was so confusing, everything that was going on, and in the end, like, it wraps up in a pretty package, and I was just very confused how we got there by that point. But I don't know, I feel like a lot of people would enjoy this book much more than I did. I just didn't care about it, and I love this cover so much. But I'm going to donate it, and hopefully someone will love it more than I did. I'm very happy also that all of these books, just one of these books I bought full price. All of the other ones were either secondhand bookstore or library sales or things like that, so there was just one that I bought full price, which makes me a little bit better about getting rid of them. But it also makes me wonder if I should stop buying all the books that I see just because they are $1. And then we have Why We Broke Up by Daniel Handler and illustrated by Myra Coleman. It has a lot of really cool illustrations throughout the whole book, which I really appreciate. I love illustrated books. This is also a very heavy book because it's printed in like a magazine page. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a very thick, almost photographic page, and it's really heavy. But I've heard a lot of people saying how much they love this book, and I just really didn't. This is about a couple, and the girl is telling the boy why they broke up and giving all these reasons and just like going through their relationship and explaining why they broke up. But it's a teenage relationship, which was probably my issue with this book. I don't really like too much of a romance because it feels too life or death. It's just like, I don't know, maybe because I never had this type of relationship in my life, I just don't get how they were so in love with each other, with the amount of time that they knew each other, and with the things that they did to each other. These are both awful people. I don't understand why this girl ever fell in love with this boy the first time, and I really don't like her either. So I didn't like the characters. I don't know why they were together in the first place, so I totally get why they broke up. It's just, I just did not understand this book a lot. If the name sounds familiar, Daniel Handler is the man who wrote the series of Unfortunate Events, but this has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's just, I don't know, like I said, it's just a YA romance that I don't understand why the romance existed in the first place. And when the girl's telling all these reasons why they broke up, I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Why didn't you break up with him much sooner? So this is going. I don't need to keep it. And then another one that was on my worst of 2020 list is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I don't feel like I need to keep this book. I bought it in a secondhand bookstore, and I'm just going to give it back to another secondhand bookstore because I don't have access to the same one anymore. This is about a circus that appears at night, and it's a very whimsical, atmospheric story that doesn't have a lot of plot, and I just didn't enjoy it much. If you want to know more of my thoughts about this book, I recommend you check the worst books video because I explain more. And basically I just don't see myself ever going back to it in any sense. I don't think I'm going to show it in my channel much. I don't have to keep it in my bookshelf. Another one from that list is A Stranger in the House by Cheryl LaPena. I love this author. She wrote two of my favorite thrillers, but this one was just not it. I was bored by half of the book because we figured everything out like halfway point, and then nothing else happened. And yeah, I really love The Couple Next Door and An Unwanted Guest, but this one was not it. The next book is Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. Again, it's another book that I've heard a lot of amazing things about. A lot of people really love this book, and it might work better if you have any kind of nostalgic feeling about it. I don't. I just read it as an adult, and it was nice. It was perfectly fine. It's about a girl who is different from everyone else, and she's unapologetically who she is. And she's in school, and she like inspires this boy to, I don't know, be who he is, be different. It has a really cute message in the end. It was just really fine, really okay. I don't have strong feelings about it at all. I watched the movie, I think. I think it was pretty much the same. Like, no strong feelings. It was cute. It was fine. But if I donate this might get into the hands of a younger teenager who will appreciate this much more than I did. So no point in keeping this in my bookshelf. And then we have a book that I'm very sad I didn't like it more, and that is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. I was so excited about this book when I first heard about it. The cover is just amazing. It's so pretty. And I didn't like it. It made me so sad. But the synopsis of this book tells way too much. And because I knew the synopsis, like I knew what was going to happen, and that thing that is in the synopsis that I'm not going to say what it is, takes way too long to happen, and by that point I didn't care too much anymore. This is about a girl whose grandmother has written this creepy fairy tales, which sounds so much cool, but one thing that I didn't like about this book is that the main character also didn't know all these fairy tales that are just like referenced in the story, and we didn't know either. So just like, what's the point? Where are we going? It felt to me that there was no purpose to the story because I didn't know. I couldn't have known because all the fairy tales are fictional also, so I couldn't have known anything, like any of the references, and I don't know, it felt too slow. I didn't care about the characters enough, and overall it just really disappointed me, which I'm really sad about. But someone's going to be very happy to find this beautiful hardcover somewhere. Then another one that I was hoping to love much more than I did was Someday Someday Maybe by Lauren Graham. She is the actress who plays Lorelai Gilmore in Gilmore Girls, which was one of my favorite TV shows. And this is a complete fiction story. This is an adult romance. Not even a romance, it's more just like contemporary, about this girl who wants to be an actress. And again, it was just okay. It was nothing surprising. It was nothing that impacted me too much. I don't see myself ever going back to it. I really liked the audiobook. I don't know if it was narrated by her. I don't remember. But it was really good. And it's just not my type of book. I read it because of the author, and I should have known that it was not my type of book and I wouldn't enjoy it as much, I guess. So someone is going to be happy to find this one also. And then another one that I haven't talked too much about because I read it before I started my channel is The City of Brass by S.H. Chakraborty. This is the Brazilian edition as well. It's a hardcover, and all the hardcovers in Brazil are like printed in the hardcover. We didn't use dust jackets, which is unusual, I guess, but we also don't have a lot of hardcovers. Mostly it's just paperback. But this is like a gorgeous edition, and someone is going to be really happy about it. So I see no point in keeping it. This is a fantasy, an adult fantasy about a girl who is a con woman, and she pretends to heal people, but then she steals their money. I don't remember exactly the beginning, but then she is taken away with a djinn to this city of brass. My main issue with this book was the pacing. I felt like this journey of the two of them just took way too long, and then the ending was actually a lot of fun. I was excited about it, but it was very short, and I don't really care too much to continue with the series, so I don't think I'm going to. I really like the magic system, the influences, and this world with this book. It's just, I really didn't like the pacing, and it took me way too long to finish this book, and I just didn't care enough in the end. Then I have Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This is a book that disappointed me because I went into it thinking it was going to be a thriller, and I didn't feel like it was a thriller. I was waiting until the end of the book to, like, now we're really going to figure out what's going on, and there was just nothing. There was nothing surprising, there was nothing thrilling in it, and I don't know, I do like the writing, I do want to read more books by her, but this book just really disappointed me because I was expecting something else, I guess. Maybe that was the reason why I didn't like it, but I just didn't care too much about it. The next one is Unwanted by Christina Olsen. This, again, it's another book that it takes too long for the thing in the synopsis to happen. This woman leaves the child in the train and someone kidnaps the child, I think. Something like that. But it's a detective story, and it focuses so much more in the lives of the detectives, which I didn't care about. I just wanted to know about the crime, and we didn't get that, so it's just, I didn't enjoy it almost at all, because I don't know, it just took too long for everything to happen. It was very slow, the actual crime part was very, very short, and we got a lot of just everyday detective life, which I didn't care about. And the last book, again, in my worst books of 2020, was The Jet Setters by Amanda Iri Ward. I'm not going to go too much into it. Again, you can watch that video to hear my full thoughts, but this was 1 star. I didn't get what the author was trying to do here, and I was very uncomfortable and confused by most of the book. So I don't see the point in keeping it. So these are the books that I've read that I'm unhauling, and they're going to better homes eventually. And like I said before, I will have a video of books that I have not read yet, but I also want to unhaul. So I will see you later in that one. Let me know if you've read any of this and if you agree with any of my opinions, or if you think I'm making a huge mistake by unhauling any of these books. Remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for joining me. Bye!